大家好，这里是游戏通哈，我们继续我们的 Disco Elysium，我们看起来应该是快要结束了啦，应该今天就可以把它完结篇，因为我们找到应该是我们已经锁定最后的凶手了。那我来讲一下哈，现在其实是那个阿莱耶哈，卡莱耶嘛，卡莱耶跟这个什么卢比都不是凶手啊，怎么说呢？第一个，那你说为什么卡拉耶不是杀人凶手？第一个是说，他当然不是杀人凶手啊。他如果是杀人凶手，他干嘛一直待在屋顶上呢？对不对？他干嘛一直待在屋顶上？他就回家啦，他就赶快那个收拾行李，包一包走人了啦。而且是他打的电话哦，是他打电话报警，而且他真的会喜欢。这是第一个，第一个他真的是他打电话报警的。第二个，他真的有喜欢那个佣兵。第三个哈，他真的不知道那个门可以开啊。第四个呢，他如果是凶手，他早就走了。那他最后呢，会因为这两个警察要逮捕他的时候，他吓到了啊，他就赶快转移焦点哦，说出这个 Ruby 也是有可能的。其实他们并不是算是嫁祸给 Ruby 哦，他也是怀疑 Ruby 哦，他觉得 Ruby 应该是有可能会杀他的哦。所以他就把这个引导到这个趋势呢，引导到卢比身上。就这两位警察去跟这个哈迪兄弟会核对的时候，就发现是卢比了，然后他们就去找卢比。然后这个卡拉耶呢，发现他们去找卢比呢，赶快收拾行李哈，赶快闪人啊哈，因为呢，他怕这两个警察哈自己找不到凶手，竟然为了要交差办事啊，为了要写结案报告，就可能直接找一个最有可能的，所以说搞不好呢，把卡拉耶误打误撞了哈，找不到证据，也就是说卡拉耶是最有可能的，就把他抓起来了。那卡拉耶不是一脸懵逼吗？要不是他杀的吗？所以他就赶快收拾行李，赶快闪人啦。所以说他最后落跑，并不代表他是杀人凶手啊。那 Ruby 呢，更也不是杀人凶手。那你会说啦，哈迪兄弟会，哈迪兄弟会那些人都没有逃跑，为什么只有 Ruby 逃跑呢？因为这刚好牵扯到另外一个巧合。Ruby 觉得这个喝醉的警探是来杀他的，因为这个喝醉的警探可能跟之前他的 Ruby 前一个工作的地方呢，是可能在黑帮，可能跟毒品有关，也跟黑帮有关，然后得罪了那个黑帮的老大。那这个黑帮老大呢，跟我们的这个喝醉的警探呢，是有一点算是无间道的一种关系啦。这个警察有收贿啦，对不对？所以说这个 Ruby 发现是这个警察来办案的时候呢，怕这个喝醉警察借刀杀人、假公济私罗织入罪，所以说他就赶快发现是这个警探喝醉糊涂警探来的时候，赶快就跑去这个鱼边的小村海边的小村海边的捕鱼的小村躲起来了。然后第二个，我们的助手警探开车过来的时候，他听到车声的时候，更是吓死了，赶快躲到这个地下碉堡上面了。那至于说这个施行的这个主意啊，把这个佣兵伪装成施行的这个主意是谁提出来的卡莱耶跟这个卢比互相指责，互相就是说是对方但是呢，我来想以我来看呢，应该是 Ruby 来的负责这个施行的这个 idea。第一个，如果是卡莱耶的话，他出这个主意来说，对于哈迪兄弟会，他干嘛要听？哈迪兄弟会干嘛要听卡莱耶的？对提图斯来讲，这个卡莱耶只不过是一个炮友啊， 免钱的妓女而已啊！我为什么要为她赴汤蹈火嘞？而且我赴汤蹈火，为什么哈迪兄弟会整个要赔下去，来这个承担这个罪名呢？是说卡拉耶提出这个计谋是说不通的，除非是卡拉耶跟这个卢比讲啊，卢比想说，这样子搞不好我帮他这样子哈，帮他一下，我可以玩，我就可以得到美人心啊。所以说一定是好，无论是谁啊，无论是谁想出来这个 idea，无论是 Ruby 想了还是卡拉耶想了，但都是 Ruby 去跟哈利兄弟会讲这件事情，说服哈利兄弟会来配合演出的，这是一定是这样子的，好不好？让我们看一下，不是都要结束了吗？怎么还在那边拿这个？对，没有，因为我们可能等一下会有一个激战。
You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one, a heavy steel blast door. There is a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small.
Another part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it could still be usable. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door.
I think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
东南方控制台。啊，这边是什么东西啊？这边是什么东西啊？我不能去啊。是这个吗？是这个吗？
This old cylindrical generator waits.
对啊，往这边走啦，对不对？对啊，往这边走。哎呦，好像是从那边下面穿过去哦。啊，原来是这样子哦。
Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard. The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades.
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here.
那个楼上电线是接在这里的啦。
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radiodiffusé.
你在讲法语哦。
It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer.
We need to restore power before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
Oh.
The boat engine.
或许我们那个引擎里面有拿出油啊。
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the mainland. Let's just look around, okay?
The consul stands by, mutely. Urgence ouvert reads a dial key. Allumé reads another. The frequency band says, radio diffuser.
没有啊，我现在就没电嘛。
Nothing happens. The dial slides under the glass, silently. You make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words, Feld Insula, an idea lights up in your head.
对啊，对啊。
This is an air-gapped system. Of air, I think they call it. That won't work. No, I'm not. But it would not be very good military technology if programmer ladies could control it remotely. Also, it's ancient, incompatible.
Uncomfortable, ancient. Uncompatible, compatible. 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 很好啊，诶，音乐不错啊，诶，干还可以这么，可以走到这么远哦。不要用跑是不是？管他的。这里还真大。你现在拿到这些钱要干嘛？有油嘞！
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
真的假的？
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Butts.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. Contemporary Rivisholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Moteri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
这个是老牌，这是老人在抽的。这个是老人抽的那个吗？真的假的？真的假的？是吗？
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. This means the same person could have visited both locations.
对啊，
I didn't see any signs of smoking inside though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window. quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
有可能
The
吗？
springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation, a tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop, the upstairs window of Clausia's room, in the rain, reflecting light.
真的假的？真的假的？
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that,
A pair of binoculars or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Cheek wrist 我可以打中。
I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
真的还假的 ？Nest
Affirmative.
affirmative。
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many, many leads pointed elsewhere.
He looks north, over the fortification, then at the mattress. He's conflicted for a second. There's guilt there. It takes him a moment to rationalize it away.
对啦，不是啦，你说我们提早来这边，我们就可以不会免得就有7个人不会白白死去，对不对？但是在这个之前呢、就是这个剧情，这是属于剧情的安排，因为我们没有经过，这是因为这个剧情写死的，我们没有任何机会能提前来到这个岛。我们怎么样去问那些那个鱼边的那个人妻，他都不开口，我们没有办法过来的。这剧情写死了，不是我们没办法办案不力，不是我们办案不力的。
Where?
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says, he feels uncomfortable suddenly.
We should move now.
There's a rain-soaked
B triple prime. This looks like a good place.
凶手有可能还在岛上啊。储存进度。
a strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea. Leave it all and walk in with a bottle in your hand.
真的还假的？
Always. Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you, where it has always been, smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal. Baby, you know it's going to hurt. Yes, cold and still, but love is warm like the inside of her mouth.
什么东西？
Oh fuck, yes. Go there in your head. It's been days since you thought about her. A week. No, we're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over. In the rain mirror of the bay, you see Martinez, reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers.
Edifice.
And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
叫我自杀啊，去死！现在还是，我已经办案了，我已经开始办案了啊，不会再出现这些奇怪的幻觉了。我现在已经有油桶了，我现在要回去就是怎么样？回去把它那个就好了，对不对？回去灌油，打开那个地方，进去那里，就可以找到凶手了吧？应该是。这个下面的地方很深，什么意思？
The console is powered off and covered in dust. Urgence over.
Possibly.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors.
Electrical devices do not work without electricity. We need to power the generator upstairs first.
哦，真的啊、是这样子就对了。我灌油到这里。
This old cylindrical generator waits with its fuel cap open. Makeshift electrical wiring runs out of its side and across the floor. The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell.
Miscus.
There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
累积了一堆，我累积了一堆都没有去打开。我一直想说有什么新的思维我可以那个，我就开这个好了。这么多都没有点，还差多少？还要多久啊？应该快到了，4分钟就到了。这样我全部都把它打开了。
A dim golden glow animates the console, faint, like a ghost light. Urgence over reads one dial key. Illuminate.
It's on. Turn emergency open.
Automatic boot.
Boots.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
这是地下碉堡，讨厌。
A sudden wave of anxiety makes your skin crawl.
After you.
对啊，
So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
真的还假的？
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
Don't be. I have a gun. I know. It was not easy to acquire.
Cop of the apocalypse. It's not fire. It's not ash.
好像没什么鸟用，看。真的还假的？我要在这边休息哦。真的还假的？休息一下嘛。
The greasy old spring mattress lies in the corner. Fresh linen under the heavy caracal cover.
The offer still stands.
The bed is quite inviting. You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there. You didn't realize how tired you were. Your body is still nowhere near healed. The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete and cold. Minutes pass. Half an hour maybe. The sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Your eyelids close until you feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. It's evening. Sleep.
没有啊，他只是恢复体力啊。真的假的？是梦境吗？诶、这是梦境啊！看，真的假的？什么东西啊？什么意思啊？这是在梦里。我靠！
Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state turns around to face you. She has an airship airbag in her hand. She seems to be in a hurry. Okay, don't say you need to talk right away. Melt the ice first. This way you're already talking. But you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go.
真的假的？
Let her go. This is the holy queen of the territories of Muindi and Insulinda. Think of the historic knowledge we could glean. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win her back. Win her back. How does that fit in here? And what is the Holy Suzerain doing here anyway?
你要去哪？他被抛弃了。
I'm going to Morova, to live there in Grad. It's 1,000,000 kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime. Hey. I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically.
OK。
I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry?
这是他的初恋吧？不是他的老婆。
Well, I'm in my head too. We're all in our heads. Sometimes, not as often as I used to. So much time has passed. More than it seems here.
This is everything I always warned you about.
Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality.
Fuck off.
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what more to say. Then, over her shoulder, silence. Her nuptial gown flows in the wind, wraps around her holy body.
Anyway. I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time to...
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions.
No, Harry. It's just regular skin. I'm not as beautiful as you always thought I was. Let's not get into.
对了，人家都要走了，他都要去结婚的啊！你不用了啦，去吧。
Is what you want to say, but you don't. Hammers clang in the distance. Children laugh. The light from the video rental casts shadows on the ground. She turns her face, and it's illuminated by it. Red and cyan. I can't help you. I'm totally useless. Everything I've said is lies. I want the exact same bad things you want. To stand here like a pillar of salt, saying,
再见也没办
is
法。
what you want to say. But where? There's water all around. She turns her face, and it's illuminated. I can't help you.
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morova. Really.
给他走了
We don't
啦。
have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us. Our love. Our unborn daughters.
哎呦，真的哦，还有一个未婚的，还有一个没出生的女孩哦。
It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you. And you have to be alone. In hell. Forever. That's just the way it is.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now.
真的还假的？对，对，没错。
I don't want it. It looks expensive. I don't want it.
奇怪，为什么他这个带跟那个这个带跟那个什么女皇的那个女王的带是同一个带吗？
That's not what figurines do, Harry.
She looks at the headless Found Rider between your fingers and doesn't know what to say. The figurines don't do anything at all. But I thought the historic figure she had. Yes, I thought it would be good. A form of communication where words have failed. Yes, it was a good idea, but she felt obliged by the headless Found Rider to give you things in return. Things she no longer wants to give you. So she refused. That's how it goes. Your figurine rider idea was naive.
骰子啊！
Harry, I don't want things. I want to go to the aerodrome.
好啦，那你去吧。
I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked the headless fallen rider back then.
对啦，他以前喜欢呐。走呗。
She doesn't know what to say.
Yes, okay. I'm glad.
"我是一个好人，我不会讲这种话。你说什么？你说的没错，我是一个普通，我不是普通，我是一个垃圾。不能，我也不可能讲第二句啊，我讲这句
It。doesn't sound like you're better at all, Harry. It doesn't even sound like you're a moralist. It just sounds like you want to win me back or something. I don't want you to try that anymore, okay? It's too sad. I need to go.
走呗。
Total annihilation. We got annihilated, Harry. It wasn't about responsibility at all. It was always only about you having no power at all. Over her, yourself, anything. That's why they didn't take you on that airship. You're insane without her.
It's not, but... I don't know why I said but. There is no but. That's it, yes.
That's it.
We've talked about it a million times. You will get over it, just like I did. People do. Things will get good for you again.
Where in hell? Stop. You're only making it worse for him. You never help with anything.
See? It just takes some time. For you, it will take something like 20 years, maybe? It was hard for me, too. I used to think I couldn't live without you.
因为我没有什么对白可以选的，我只能选刚才那一句啊。我甚至想不起你是谁啊，哈，就这样就结束就好啦。
But I can.
She keeps her shoulders squared and her back straight, but it's clear you're still making her sad.
It's okay. Yes. But that time is gone now. So very gone.
好啦，那就这样吧。那就走了就走了。
What other things? We've been through all the things, Harry.
不能亲呐、我亲一下了，因为没别的选项，这什么都不行。好，不要走好了。
No, don't say it. Don't beg. It will only make her go. Yes, somewhere hidden among the options popping up in your nervous system is the right one. That will make her love you again and not go to the aerodrome at all.
Nothing. I have to go. I'm gonna go now.
Lies, sire. She cannot but love you. She has said so 100 times.
No, too late now. You have forgotten your list, and the time is up. I am really going now. I must be on the 10:20 flight. Yes, I won't see you, but you will see me.
怎么可能
Oh, Harry, this is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago?
这是梦中了。我现在是自我心理治疗啦，治疗完就
Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week, at least. And Harry, it really, really looks like it started happening again. There's the video rental. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago.
这是梦境啊。
Oh yes, this is real darkness. It's not death or war or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry. See you tomorrow.
可以啦，走吧。来呀、小心一点哈。好了啦，好了啦，enough 了啦。
You're up quick. How was your sleep? Are you sure you're okay? You thrashed around and you bolted up, half covered in blood from your wound. Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and squealed in your sleep.
好吧。进度，进度。哎呀，储存进度就储存进度吧，储存进度了，去吧。橡皮艇，这应该是最后了啊。果然啊，这已经没有路了啊！我不跟他讲话啊，我现在就绕一绕。最后了啦，没有路了。好了，准备有什么东西哈？有什么东西可以喝的，先喝一喝啦。这来一个。那个哈，手上拿着枪了没？手上先拿着枪。我现在不捡破烂了啊！手上拿着枪，右手拿枪，左手拿这个锹子。什么东西要最好的？全部都是要加的。那个捡的都不要。怎么都是有捡啊？凡是有捡的我都不拿啊。看，帽子，哎、这个吗？帽子，帽子，这个不行吗？这个手眼协调，速度。我不需要博学多闻啊！现在博学多闻要干嘛？攻打器，裤子穿这个，衣服穿什么？通达器兼通达器，我现在需要通达情理吗？五感发达。不是哦，有穿背心。思维逻辑好了。没有一个好的帽子。就这样吧。然后喝一下，看看减士气的是不是？减士气的，我们来减士气的，看有什么是减士气的。 减生命的就不想要了，生命有点低。这个减士气的。减生命的好像也是可以啊，全部喝一喝吧。减生命的也给他喝一喝呗。血很多啊我。哎、那个已经被喝光了。这个吧，这个要。还有一个是什么？安非他命是不是？全部喝光了。好像不能再加了，是不是？是不是已经加到满了？抽烟吧。还有什么东西？酒还可以再喝吧，还可以再喝2瓶的样子。哎、刚刚还可以再喝很多嘞。全部把它喝一喝。怎么样？喝啊！士气没什么血量，士气太多了。这个。好了。看到没有？厉害到不行。手上拿着枪啊！我现在是最强状态。看到没有？一堆。看体格，体格是不是撑爆了啊？体格撑爆变成1了呢。现在超强的我。存档。手上拿着枪，右手拿着这个。什么任务吗？全部没啦。盔甲。没有找出全部盔甲，也没有找出凶器耶。凶器就在这个地方，这个人身上啊。
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
他是神经病吗？你是那个活人？
The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up. My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his right side. His left side remains motionless.
你这把枪不错吧？
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
我可以一眼认出。
It's a 3-Angong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
步枪。
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball.
He's right. Almost no one remembers there was a third metastasis of the World Revolution in the Safre Empire, extinguished in '06. It's almost as if they were never there. Only the rifle remains, cradled by the old man.
防护门是你关上的吗？
I did. And you opened it. How? I should have burned that console down. The boat engine. On the water.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
His elbows rest on the frame stock, calmly for now. But he may still get it in his hands. Looks like he knows the weapon. You don't see a magazine in the well. Yell at him now, loud.
争强好胜。
He is not afraid of such displays. This was the wrong move.
You're right. It's a good thing I got one in the chamber.
Chamber， 他 Chamber 还有一发。
Oh, wait. Yes.
No. Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway.
Walking stick。
It's out of bullets.
哈哈哈哈。
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
Amputate. 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 Limb. Amputate.
He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
你讲什么？
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present to be afraid and cold. Real music. It's La Revacholière, you shit-licking bougie dog. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
Marching song.
March song.
Forget about that for a moment. You need to address that remark first.
不要跟他讲这些啦，谈这是干嘛？我是来办案的啦。
You don't understand anything.
你该不会只是一个愤世嫉俗的一个老人吧？
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stopped and patched in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut.
Walnuts.
On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
包壳子弹，没错，他就是用包壳子弹，
The right type and the right calibre.
没错。
He's liking this.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him. The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly.
Twitch.
Some kind of involuntary response? Something is slightly off with his motorics. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. Any time.
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
Community.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the Army of the Revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
Partisan 是游击队吗？
51 minus 8 equals 43.
真的假的？
No. I've been on other islands, too. I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago. It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender. The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in 02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing, against the whole world. Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow.
Deathblow.
I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone. Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow? Iblis.
Iblis.
The black-eyed angel.
Shaitan Ahura, the darkened one.
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took for reaction to take hold.
激反应，激反应。
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
不朽。
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
It remains unclear what it is. He makes leaps he doesn't expect you to follow.
And this was when?
He is still not convinced of his safety. You should not be either.
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
对了，我不要听你讲什么黑魔法，乱讲一通，你到底是怎么样？
It's not enough. The total combined power of international capital, all their fear and terror, tore into Revachol. Streets rose from the ground, houses turned to ghosts.
Ghost， 你怎么活的啦？
How does anyone survive? I steal.
偷了
Now hold on there.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stew, too.
He does seem frail, gaunt for his age, more like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
Look over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy gun.
You also have Druamine.
I have been running out of that stuff.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
Painkiller. Addict.
It's the little joys. A dark joke, a sunshiny day, morphine. I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of... I don't even know what. Inferno?
Inferno.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
Partisan 是游击队 Partisan 不是党员
There
吗
were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust.
Capitulate.
But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequencies dead. At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
Snitch.
In the city, you move underground?
Snitch. 他就地下碉堡啦。
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just... So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belma Graves, right? I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across. Wait, how did he get down there?
对啊，
I didn't have to. Came in through the storm drains.
下水道啊，
Storm drains?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such, under the church and everywhere. Most of them are gone now, collapsed, just bricks. All the old infrastructure has...
你为什么去城里？当然是找猎东
I
西
don't
吃
want
啊
to.。They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
OK，
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
对啊，
I do.
对啦，他也塞那个地支角杀过人啊。
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
中产阶级伯爵啊，
Lynx, you represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce monde. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit.
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army. Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology.
ideology,
He
ideology,
was like a cleric, a shepherd.
shepherd.
Okay then, over-mystified that a bit. He nods slowly, then another tremor.
Trent.
"43 years and 10 months.
他不是有换过很多岛吗？
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't. He nods, but he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Precinct 41. Precinct.
2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting. For her to
Her who?
girl child revolution. Always. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do. There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
冲动自入。
I've used it for killing people.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property.
Use a reason.
I
Use a
haven't done
reason.
that.
Moral. Use a reason.
I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay, this is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But this is what you live for. This is the shit. The great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those.
Use a reason. Use a reason. Use a reason. 委婉，还有这个。
No, no. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now. Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you, and in them a chill, like electricity running up your spine, crawling into your skull.
All is not as it seems.
Detective.
Nothing, and in them the feeling dissipates. The silence remains.
Detective.
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
Grotesque.
And why did you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me. I'm wrong all the time.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
同性恋合作。
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession.
Confession.
The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
Check.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war.
哦，我路上也有这种兰花啊 ，Great Bell。然后这是大革命的符号，对。
Nowhere else, nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them this spring. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up.
对啊，
You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul.
对，
Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
先给他那个 Bell。
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A
Nostalgia。
strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in...
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may. Classier.
卡拉耶，
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
My ears don't reach the city. With the victim.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a
Tremble.
crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst, almost, but you need one more, just one, or maybe two.
你的鞋子呢？
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Torres.
Fucking imbecile.
Imbecile. Imbecile. Imbecile.
The maker is called Sansarique. and the size is 42 to 44.
Imbecile.
These are not the unusual horizontal patterned souls you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the soul.
这个啦，他可能就有很多鞋子没。
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them
对
right
啊，
now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. More. He's gonna crack. But you need a little more.
我们做了弹道的分析啦。
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
Diligent.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dras. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
OK，
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
对，
Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
对啊，
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now.
OK，
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Leave no stone unturned. Get him on what matters most.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons?
imbecile。
Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting.
Ghost。
So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Divert。
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder. You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood. Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
Prostitute.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
"所以你射他一枪。
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
他就痛恨那些佣兵
The
啊。
lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you.
他是因为政治，算是因为跟政治有关，还有他的这个 ideological 这个观念，让他变成这样。
While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her. Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Confess 承认 murder， 法兰西主义，这是法兰西，他觉得那些佣兵是法兰西的。
Yes.
OK。
And you were looking at them, the victim and the young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man
对啦
nods.，
那就对啦。
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's preparing the ground.
动机没有，他就政治
I
动
don't
机。
understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
对啊，你晚上为什么要看他们？
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
Helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
Then you pull the trigger?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
对哈、要让他自己去。 从容自若。
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put of hatred.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house, stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst. Because of the racists, everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppie erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Syphilis.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals. Like those boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Quayamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt, Frisell, is now dead. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores.
奇怪，他现在变成说在讲一些之前的政治的情势。
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people might be worth investigating.
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abominates.
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
Syphilis.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues, too. Hundreds of them. What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? I do. Some advertising cockroaches use their accumulated capital to erect a new, ironic version of it. We tore it down with honest, working-class plastic explosives. But there it is again, grinning. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him. It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from here.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the bullet for a deformed monster of liberal capitalism. Shameful, really.
Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective?
The fat union man let them put it there. Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat check for it, too. Shared with the law.
He keeps having opinions about the union's leadership.
Another hideous disappointment.
Hideous.
Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the union's top brass.
Claire.
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Edgar.
He talks a big game about uprising and social base. They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that. First against the wall with him.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
有可能哦。有可能哦，他可能是受人委托的哦。
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
真的假的？
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was the man of the left, wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things. 20 years ago, neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Swine.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water. He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
干他枪杀了啦！
That bourgeois cow, Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
Bordering on sentimentality, it drips out of him, tempered by something familiar to you. A familiar rage.
Temper.
Called in, they say, on the eve of battle, ran away, vanished like a piss stain.
Vanish.
No, that's not.
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
他就被他干掉了啦。
No, I guess it was not. She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river.
Because she was dead.
Just say nothing.
The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled? Hard to say. It was a sloppy job. And a moving target.
Sloppy. Sloppy. Sloppy.
She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
你朝他开枪了。
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is...
Another big spike of rage, different from the one he has for her.
Nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just
Hegemony.
words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
他被利用了，他被骗了。
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal.
Yes.
If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk.
无脸证人啊！
We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
Extradite.
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything. I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
The same old freezing hatred.
Every fucking morning. for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always
那
loathed
个哦，
that
就是那
game.
一个人
That is not
死掉了
a
那个人。
working class game. I don't care what royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And I remember him. I remember that one.
这个不重要啦。
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston. Alone.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
He whispers with such predatory hunger. It borders on longing.
你杀了他吗？
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bonbon melt in my mouth.
Save the treat for later?
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Rene. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
他不知道他死了。
No. I waited too long. I waited too long, and now he's dead?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
They're all dead now.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
Fuck you.
德罗斯，
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fucked.
He's not okay. This is just another black day in a row of black days.
I don't even care about those whores anymore. Get it over with. Take me in.
Rene must have been quite a loss for him. Maybe you could still get him to talk about things that don't require as much rage, because it's not there anymore.
Glad we talked about what?
"你到底是怎么样杀他？你到底是为了什么？
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
你是因为自己没得干吗？
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
掠夺者，他主要是法西斯主义掠夺，他主要是政治问
And
题。
I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But You can't have everything.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood.
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
That, too.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on, right there. Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth.
After she was gone,
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
no. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
This implies that he's thought about extorting her. Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
You didn't say Clausia in there. Why would I need that trash?
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time.
It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember if I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean and bruised all over. Black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating.
Lean.
I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
Spook.
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
Sold it.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
It quickly comes to you.
哦，对啦，看他偷窥，他也是想说看一下 A 片啦。
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Masturbate，自慰嘛，他就看嘛。
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
对，他想干，他很久没干了啦。
Did you make that hole?
With a clip-point knife.
Good for listening in, too, for hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
对啊，你换过鞋啊？
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny. Yes, that, too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope. There's nothing to hold on to. Only this.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know. No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes, the day after I killed him.
对啊，他就喜欢他。
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore. Maybe, I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at
对
you
啊，其实他
once more.
不是因为他不爽那个男的爽，他不是因为那个法西斯主义或是佣兵让他不是看不惯他爽，他是因为他就是想要那个女的呢。
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days. Good for her. That girl kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, kept staring at the island.
对他一直看着，他怀疑。
At night, crying or smoking on the roof, like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the
酷
sky.
是茧，
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south.
可以啊。
Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
Yes.
The old man has fallen silent, staring at your feet. The burnt logs in the fire are moist from the sea air. For a 60-year-old man with stomach trouble, who spent his entire life alone on an uninhabited island, he seems surprisingly fit. He's clearly a drug user of the painkiller sort, prone to erratic hand gestures, and malnourished. But that's it.
I ain't going anywhere.
从容自若是不是很简单啊？从容自若，把它加到满。
The old man stares despondently. What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. It's precisely what you could not see before. For a man who spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild. Indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Animated 毒品啊，
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. Great leaps of emotion, from anger to grief, despair. You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile.
lucid，
Is it some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something? Not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
德罗斯，
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
You said you take painkillers.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses. Not enough money for a greedy doctor.
Are you sure about him being lucid? Maybe he's just affected by an extreme case of socialism.
elusive，
It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
Like some kind of decadent rock star. I don't know what that is.
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course.
erratic，
Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled. His lip curls into a sneer.
Glad
好
we
啦好啦
talked，
逮捕
about
了啦，
what?
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting. The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
incantation，
Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand?
But
你干嘛？你就快死了。
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat. Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him inland while the other stays here, but...
But then, who watches him while you're coming back here?
You come back for me? How about I go and send a boat back for you?
what is this farce? Is this a fucking farce? I can't.
把先把它铐锁起来啦。
You could ask her, maybe.
This is no harmless old man.
This fucking world. This world. What is
先把它
this?
铐起来啦。
No, listen. Listen now. There it is again, to your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about?
Your skin crawls.
有人呢、什么东西？竹节虫！我靠！竹节虫哎、酷炫啊！真的有竹节虫啊！
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
这是什么寓意啊？就是说，真的有存在。
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you, with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you, and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
I can see it.
对，他可以看到。
4 simple words, thank God. If you can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
对呀、抓这个比较重要啊。好吧，太重要了，我也没想到这结局还没有搞清楚呀。先存档吧。这一集到这里啊。他是不是有一个？
Something is very wrong with him now.